Okay, this video is for replacing the thermistor or thermal fuse in a Ricoh 2800 or a Ricoh 3300. To get to the fuser section, you'll come around to the side, open up the side door. You'll pull these brackets off. There'll normally be a screw right there. You'll pull that screw and then this bracket will come off. And you'll come to the front. There'll be normally a screw right there, and then this bracket will come off. Now you just act like you're going to unjam the copy machine. Lift up that lever, and then pull the fuser towards you. Now normally it would stop right here because of those brackets, but since those brackets are gone, it's going to come all the way out of the copy machine. Now we'll just set it over here. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Now we need to get the cover off the top of the fuser section. There'll be 6 screws. There'll be one right here, one right here. There'll be one right here, and then one right there, and then one over on the other side. And then you can just grab with this, and then this section will come off like that. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to pull this plate, and there will be a screw right there, a screw right there, a screw right there, and a screw right there. Okay, now that I've got those screws pulled, we'll just pull on this plate, and then down here at the bottom there'll be a connector, and this is just comes loose like that. Set that aside. Now the next thing we'll need to do is we'll need to pull this other plate right here. There'll be a screw right there and a screw right there, and it's the one with this little door on it. And then once you get those undone, then this will lift right up. Now this will have a little bracket right there, slot in and then bracket right there. That will sit down right here on the corner on each end, right there. It's difficult to see here. It will sit down right there. That little slot. Okay. Now for your lower thermistor, it's a little bit more of a pain to get to, but that screw right there is what you want to take loose. That underneath that screw is your thermistor, and then you will find a wire that goes all the way along this side up underneath there, and then there will be your connector. So you'll have to unconnect that right there, fish it through all of this, and then put your screw back in there. Now be careful when you put that thermistor up underneath there that you don't get it bent one way or the other. You want to go down and underneath the fuser roller when you get that in there. That is for your pressure roller. This is your pressure roller. Now the one for your main heating belt, which is this big one right here, was on that first plate that we took off. Now that one's real simple to get to. It's just a screw right there, and right there is your thermistor. So that one's real simple. The other one's a little bit harder. But once you get this put back on the plate, then what your first thing you'll do is connect your thermistor back in, and you'll see some slots down here that the wire goes down into. If I can get it up there. Okay, it just tucks down into a little crevice there, and then you'll see some slots right here that this plate will go into, and some slots down here that this plate will go into. And you just want to get them in there, and then you'll put your screw back there, 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 and there. Now if you see the wire hanging out like this, you want to tuck it in there because the top cover can pinch that wire when you go to put it back on. So we got that plate back in there. Now we need to, after you've replaced this thermistor with that screw right there and run your wire all the way back and connect it, then you'll take this plate right here and pop it in there like that. And you can see right down in there where I was talking about how it's got to go on that little slot right there. See? Okay. Then you'll put your screw back in right there and right there. Now once you've got that back on there, then you can put your cover back on. And this can be a little tricky, but you want to get this arm up through this hole right here. And same thing for the other side. So I generally will angle this back, get those arms through there first, and then just kind of wiggle it forward until it snaps down. And make sure that your wire for the lower pressure roller is not sticking out right there. Now all you have to do is put your screws back in, your 6 screws back in. Don't forget those 2. Slide her back in, lock it down, put your securing brackets back in. Now the next thing that you'll need to do, if you're still having this code, is you'll have to go back in and reset that code in the service program mode, which I do have a video up on how to reset that for this machine. Hope this helps.